Okay, so let's get started. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Welcome to the latest in our monthly HubSpot Masterclasses. Today, the subject is how you can get the most out of HubSpot Tickets. If you're brand new to HubSpot, HubSpot does a lot of different things. There are 5 different hubs, soon to be 6.
Yeah.
So you have marketing, sales, customer service, website CMS, operations, and very soon, what is it? Payments, revenue,
Commerce Hub. Yeah. Just only in the US
which,
at the moment, but hopefully should be here in the UK
yes,
some point next year.
And has huge potential. We're very excited about what Commerce Hub can be doing for you and your businesses. So what we're going to dive into today is a customer service tool called Tickets. Now, as we run these, we've planned to run between 10:30 and 11. We're never exactly sure how long things will take. So what we're aiming to do is finish at around about 11, but then anyone that's available and wants to stop on for a few minutes afterwards, we'll do some Q&A at the end, if there are any, and if anyone wants to ask specific questions that we don't get to during the course of this half an hour. What we're going to try and do, as well as best we can, there is chat enabled, and there is also Q&A. So if you're familiar with Zoom, it will be somewhere at the bottom of your screen. And we will do our best as we go through things to keep an eye on any messages that are coming in and try and answer as much as we can in real time. Anything that we don't, we'll endeavour to get back to you by email, or as I say, we'll have a little bit of time at the end.
Yeah.
We are recording this, so there will be a recording sent out in the next 24 hours or so of this session if you want to share it with anyone that couldn't be here or missed it, or anyone else that you think would benefit from learning more about tickets. What else do I need to cover from an admin perspective? So just for those of you that have just joined, I've put 2 links into the chat. So one is a link to previous webinars that we've run if you're interested in learning what we have to say about HubSpot CMS capabilities, or sequences, or using video in your sales. Then we have lots of on-demand webinars that you can watch, like this one today. The other link I've put in is a link to our live online calendar, where you can book a meeting with a member of our team to find out more about our services as a company, and have a kind of an initial discovery meeting for free with someone who can learn more about your business, your goals, what you're looking to achieve, and can give you an idea of how we can help you. Okay, so we've got, can't see the links.
I'm just going to pop the links back in now for everyone. I am already on it.
See the past chats possibly.
That's what I'm thinking. I will do that now as you get started, Will.
Great, thanks. So before we dive into the specific functionality of tickets, very quick overview on JDR if you are unfamiliar with us as a business. So we're a marketing agency primarily. We have a background in business coaching. That's actually how we started as a company nearly 20 years ago. We turned 20 next October, so it's a big birthday for us. And our goal is to help businesses prosper and succeed in the digital age. So over the last 20 years, we've been through a huge amount of change in the digital world. So when we started the business, there were no social media profiles. I think I just signed up to Friends Reunited when we started the business. So that gives you an idea. I think MySpace was the in thing when we started out. So there was no Facebook, no Twitter, no YouTube. All of these things have come along as we've been working with small, medium-sized businesses. And over the period of time, we've been working with marketing strategy, and we've been working with technology. We started working with HubSpot back in 2012, and are now an elite HubSpot partner, one of the top partners in the UK, indeed in the world, with extensive experience of both onboarding, delivering services, working with HubSpot as a marketing platform. So today there's a team of 35 marketing professionals. We've worked with thousands of different campaigns, worked with lots of different technology platforms, got lots of different certifications, approvals. And as I say, when it comes to HubSpot, we are an elite agency. There are three main parts to our services when it comes to HubSpot specifically. There is onboarding. So if you subscribe to HubSpot, you'll need training and support in getting going, and we provide that. For people that need more advanced help, we have HubSpot one-to-one training and consultancy services. And we come across lots of businesses that love the marketing functionality of HubSpot, but don't have the time or expertise to deliver it in full. And that's where our marketing agency services come in. From a marketing agency perspective, we effectively give you an outsourced marketing department, a whole team of people with different specialist skills that you can plug in as and where needed to help your business just to achieve its optimal results through your website and your other digital marketing assets. That's a very quick overview. As I said earlier, if you do want to find out more about how we can help, you can book a meeting with us and have an initial chat. So let's start with a quick overview on tickets itself. I'm going to stop my share, Emma, so you can pick that up.
Yep, I will just do that now. Okie dokie, can you see that well?
Yep.
Super. I'm assuming if you can, that means everybody else can as well. So tickets within HubSpot look very similar to a tool that you're probably more familiar with, that is deals within HubSpot, but they're saved in a different area within HubSpot. So they're under the customer service side of things within HubSpot. So what tickets allow you to do is to track things through that aren't specifically to do with new orders or anything like that. Some of what we're going to go into today is a couple of different ways that you can use these tickets and that kind of thing. But from an overview perspective, tickets are essentially a board way of tracking what happens to somebody after they have become a customer, whether that be an onboarding process, a customer service process, or some kind of annual servicing type process. Those are going to be the kind of ticketing area within HubSpot really for that. So tickets are, Will, I think you might be pinging your emails coming through. I'm not sure if it's yours or mine that are beeping up there over my headphones. Okay, no problem. It must be my own then. That's fine. Yeah. So tickets are a part of the Service Hub module within HubSpot. So it's this area here. Now, the nice thing about tickets is that every portal within HubSpot, right from the free level all the way up, does have access to the ticketing functionality in one way or another. Now, you get a lot more advanced functionality once you move up into the professional, the enterprise levels. But actually, to get you started on tickets, you can do that for completely free in the HubSpot CRM. So it's a really great tool that you can start dipping your toe into, understanding a little bit more about it, and then start to look at the more advanced functionality as you go on, really. So,
sorry, Emma, it's just worth saying if you've got a HubSpot account, it's pretty easy to find. It's under the service tab at the top. If you're logging in on your desktop, there's a service tab and tickets are under there.
I'll show you very quickly. So just on service up here, and then tickets, and then you're going to have all of your boards here. You can also view them as a list if you prefer. I'm much more visual. I like to see them on the nicely organized board with the little cards. Fab.
Yeah, and like deals, you can edit all of those. We'll get to this, but you can edit all of those different stages and columns.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think what's useful to kind of get your head around with tickets is the different areas in your business that you could use these, and every business is going to want to use tickets in a slightly different way. Some of you might only have a use case for one of these things. Some of you actually all of these various different use cases might be applicable here. So I think hopefully this will actually make it seem a little bit more real. It will show you where you can actually use this within your businesses. So the first way that the tickets work really nicely is for managing a joint inbox. We speak to a lot of companies who have a info at inbox, or a sales at inbox, or a customer support or a help at type inbox, where all of their customer queries come into one big inbox, and a big group of people are all going into that inbox, grabbing things, moving it into their own inbox, applying to people. And that can be a little bit chaotic to keep on top of all of that. It's very easy for things to slip through the cracks with that kind of system set up. You also have even more of a challenge there if you've got different channels that things are coming into. If you've got people WhatsApping you or submitting forms on the website or emailing or calling, and they're all going into different places, trying to stay on top of all of that can be incredibly difficult for a team to do. What HubSpot allows you to do is to connect all of that up into a conversations inbox, which is here within HubSpot. So all of those various different channels are going to come into one place. What you can do off the back of that as well is then create a ticket for every single one of those emails that comes through, so that you've got a kind of permanent record of every email that's come through, and every WhatsApp, every form submission, everything else as well. What this means, you're never going to miss an email, because there's going to be that record of it sat in your ticketing pipeline there. There's also then a ton of automation and reporting you can do off the back of this. So maybe any email that comes through from a particular customer needs to be assigned to a particular service rep to deal with, or maybe if it comes through with a specific subject line, it needs to go to a specific person and be dealt with in a specific way. Once this is within HubSpot, you can start to automate a lot of that so that the right people are getting given the right tickets. It removes a lot of that manual process of allowing people to kind of use the emails in that way. The other big thing that this is going to let you do is report on the volume of communications and response times. I've worked with clients where we've had a kind of inbox like this in the past. They thought they were probably sending around about 100 emails a day. Once we set up the reporting, it was more like 500-600 emails a day, and that's only increasing. They had no idea of what they were receiving because it was just individuals working on it. So from that management perspective and resourcing that team, it's so important that you understand what that team is actually doing, what volume of things is coming in there.
As a business owner or as a manager, like the visual layout as well makes it really easy to see visually what's happening with the emails and requests that are coming in from customers.
Yeah.
And to be able to identify who's dealing with which ones and which ones haven't been picked up yet, and so on. Yeah,
it's really, really important. So like Will mentioned earlier, you can change all of the headings on your ticket pipeline. So I've just set this one up as a bit of an example of what it would look like if you were using this to manage a joint inbox here. So everything might come into new. If you're waiting on the contact to reply, it can jump into this box. If you're waiting on you to reply to the last email was from the contact, it can jump into this box. And HubSpot has some really smart automation on the professional hubs where it will automatically know whether it was you that last replied or the contact that last replied, and it can jump between those two columns automatically. From a service kind of rep perspective, from someone dealing with all of these queries, that's invaluable. It means you know exactly which ones are off your plate for the moment, waiting for them to come back to you, and which ones are currently live and kind of needing to be worked on there. So that's a really useful feature within there. You can also close them out and all that kind of thing. Have columns for if nothing needs to be done with it, if it's just a spam email that's come in as well. So you can really customize this to however you want to. It's super, super easy to do that. I go back into the tickets here. I just go into edit stages up here on the right. Just move my little Zoom box out of the way. You can change all of these stages, name them whatever you want, have as many or as few stages as you want. You can have multiple different pipelines on here as well on the professional version of Service Hub. So there's a lot that you can do to really tailor this to fit with how you're doing business here.
I've had a quick question, Emma, from Simon, and it's a quick one to answer, so I'll jump in now. The answer is yes, Simon. So when a communication comes in from, as Emma said, email, WhatsApp, if you've got that set up, or from you can create a support form or a particular form that you place on your website for people to fill out. Mm-hmm. And when any kind of response comes via email or WhatsApp or the form, it can be set up to automatically create a ticket. And that ticket will be logged against the contact record in your HubSpot CRM. And if relevant, the company record as well. And you can then set up all these some really good automation and reporting on the basis of that.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So the other use case that we see for tickets quite a lot there is for managing an onboarding kind of process. So a lot of the clients we work with, when they get a new customer, there's then a series of things that has to be done once that new customer comes in. Our business is the same, and we use this when we're onboarding new clients as well. You can set up automation that links between your deals, where you're recording all of your orders and your sales, and then your tickets. So you can set up automation whereby whenever a deal moves into one, that's going to automatically create a ticket for the onboarding team to then start moving it through those various different stages. You can even copy a load of information out of the deal. So the core bits of information that your onboarding team is going to need, sales team can put that in, and that will ping straight through. So when it comes and sits with whoever is onboarding them, they know exactly what needs to be done. Again, you can have completely custom stages for this. So you might have new, maybe you need to send a welcome pack, receive some documents back from them, introduce an account manager, whatever steps you need, you can kind of customize this and tweak it accordingly. The other thing that works really nicely though with the onboarding process is often in an onboarding process, at each of these steps of the process, there are going to be certain things that have to be done. So for instance, it might be that when a deal moves into new, you need to create a task for your manager to assign that onboarding project to someone. Or maybe when it moves into welcome pack, you need to create a task for someone to actually send that pack out. Maybe you even want to automatically send that pack out. By using some of the automation within the tickets there, you're going to be able to have those tasks pop up automatically in your task list on HubSpot. So that's under here. You'll be able to see all of those tasks that you've got there available, and it's going to allow you to then work through that in a much more efficient way rather than kind of remembering at each step of the process, really. Ultimately, the big benefit of managing your onboarding process through the tickets is it's going to really streamline that experience for the customer, and also for your team internally. It's going to mean they've got all of the information they need all in one place.
As you've taken this information in, you'll either be thinking, well, right, great. If you've got an onboarding process for new customers already, hopefully you can see how that could be automated and reported on and tracked through using tickets. If you don't have a system for onboarding new customers, that's something that you can consider, because having a systematic way of bringing new customers on board can really help with retaining and keeping customers in the long term.
Definitely. And I think, especially if you're already using HubSpot for some of your sales function, but maybe not using it for this side of the business yet, having this process sit within HubSpot works so nicely, because it allows for that really smooth transition from the sales, then the delivery of the service that you're providing. So that can work really, really well. As well, having that all housed in one place and really nicely interconnected there. Okay. So the other really big use case for this, and this is one that I love to use in manufacturing businesses or businesses that are kind of installing products on site or at customers' premises or anything like that, is often you have to do some kind of annual servicing on those kind of products or those kind of installs. Keeping track of when that annual servicing is due, remembering to reach out to people, actually having a system and a process for that isn't incredibly manual can be really, really difficult. Often there's a kind of single person within the business that's got a mega spreadsheet of everything that's been won and everything that's coming up, and they're every day checking what they need to do. What using HubSpot allows you to do here, again, connected up with the sales function within HubSpot, is it stops that reliance on remembering or on spreadsheets, because you can set it up to automatically remind you however many months after you have won a deal that you need to then start pushing them to get their annual service booked in, or their 3-month service, or however you do it. Having that automatically pop up a ticket based on when that deal was closed is going to completely change how you kind of handle this sort of process if this is something that is in your business. And it's going to allow you to make this a really robust revenue stream. I think a lot of businesses that have this kind of annual servicing model, it's very hard to make this a profitable area of the business, or it's incredibly manual to get this making a good return for you. By automating some of this, that's going to completely change the game in that regard. It also allows for automated chasing of clients to book the service as well. So you can set up triggers and automations and that kind of thing to really chase people down and actually get this booked in. And it's going to allow you to see what the success rates of that actually look like as well. How many of your won deals do end up actually getting an annual service? Where is that dropping off? How can we improve that? And kind of how is that process working through? So you would set this up whereby however many months after install, you would get a ticket come into this first stage that you have got that received. Then maybe once you've got the date booked, you will move it on a stage. Maybe the client needs to confirm that. Maybe you need to send an engineer out, something like that, and then get a report back from that engineer. You can track that full servicing process within here. You could even have your engineers attending on site, or whoever you have attending, to do that service using HubSpot and uploading their notes directly against this ticket. So again, you've got that permanent record of that in the system as well. It's going to be great for your sales guys as well to be able to see, oh, great, we've had an engineer out at this site doing a great job servicing today. Maybe now's a good time for me to call them, offer them an upgrade, talk about a new product line, any of that kind of thing. So if you've got this kind of annual servicing model in your business, managing this and tracking this within HubSpot is a really fantastic way of elevating that, really.
Going back to the early days of JDR in business coaching, we used to do a lot of work with clients to help them, right? One of the biggest and most effective sources of revenues for any business is within their existing client base, because it's way easier to keep a client and to get someone who's already bought from you before to spend more money with you than it is to go and find new clients. And we would be putting all sorts of systems in place to try and make it easy for businesses to do these annual services, these follow-ups, and so on. And to be able to set a system up now that can just look after that automatically and report on it and track everything. If the 19 years ago Will could see this, he'd be amazed. So yeah, it's a real revenue opportunity.
Definitely. We've had a question come in: which stage in a deal is classed as one? And that is completely customizable. You can actually have it create a ticket at any stage of the deal process, but just on my demo account here, on my deals, if we edit, you see down here the probability. I pick a stage and I can choose multiple stages to be marked as one. So you can completely customize that. You can actually have tickets created at any point in your sales process. Maybe you have a process whereby somebody needs a service engineer visit partway through your sales process. You can do that all through the tickets as well if needed. So yeah, completely flexible how you want to automate this. Whatever is going to work best for the business, really. Okay, fantastic. Will, do you have anything to add on any of those kind of use cases before I move on to?
Yeah, well, just to add, I've got a couple of other specific examples that of clients that come to mind that I've worked with. One is a financial services business. When you win an instruction in financial services, there's a very definite process to where there's a lot of compliance involved, and you need paperwork at certain stages. And so having a ticketing system to help manage that process to actually progress, say, a mortgage case or a pension application or something, tickets have been very, very, very useful for that. And again, you can see which team member has got where with their cases, and have automations someone's got stuck in a particular stage and we haven't received paperwork, for example.
Yeah.
I've also found it useful with some clients who to just manage actual projects. It's not designed really as a project management tool, but it can be used for that. For example, we have a client that works in construction. They've set up tickets to track different phases of their construction projects, so they can, right, we've won a job, and now it moves into the ticketing stage, and we've got the various construction stages: first fix, electrics, plumbing, second fix, etc., 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 completed job. And there can be automation run on the back of projects being completed, or complaints being addressed, or any of the use cases that we've talked about, that then prompt feedback and potentially asking for reviews automatically. So it can be used to monitor customer satisfaction and to generate positive reviews for the business through use of the automation. That kind of tips into a couple of other service tools that we can talk about on other sessions, but it's definitely something that you can then do in the back of when you're tracking what you're doing for customers like this.
100%. Fantastic. So why does this matter then? I think we see a lot of businesses that the priority is very much sales and marketing, because that's your ultimate revenue generator. But there's a lot of research whereby actually investing and improving the customer experience does make a big impact on your overall sales revenue by about 2 to 7%, depending on various factors. So investing in this customer experience is going to have an impact on your bottom line there, because growing your kind of customer service, what you're able to do is going to allow you to sell more to those customers, which is going to grow that lifetime value. A happy customer is much more likely to come back and buy again. Like Will said, you can see very easily using the Service Hub within HubSpot which are your happy customers. You can survey them, find that out. But having a really nice streamlined process is going to make people more likely to come back to you again. 89% of consumers say that they're more likely to come back and make another purchase if they've had a really positive experience with the customer service team. Being really organized with how you manage that is the best way of getting that kind of customer loyalty, really. The other big area where this is going to help from a business perspective is resource allocation. Like I mentioned at the moment, having a proper system and reporting off the back of how much customer support are you providing is going to allow you to resource that accordingly within your teams. It's also going to let you see which customers are sending in the most tickets, which customers are always complaining and having problems. Let's maybe take them off the list of the sales reps because they're more trouble than they're worth at this stage. So really systemizing that and reporting and getting that detail on that allows you to do a lot more there. It's also most definitely the case that it is more expensive to gain a new customer than it is to retain an existing one. Retention is so important to growing your business, continuing to improve the value within your business, and having a very streamlined, top of the range customer service experience is going to help you to retain those customers longer term and allow you to do a lot more with them and grow them. So that's a couple of the benefits really of investing in customer service in this way. Will, is there anything that you'd like to add to those benefits? Or
Emma, that's
super.
No.
Fab. So if you're wanting to get started with tickets off the back of what we have shown you today, first place to start is to start thinking about which of these use cases you're going to use. Look at connecting some of your channels up to the conversations inbox, start getting things flowing into the system, start customizing your stages, start processing and kind of working out what that flow of customers through the business looks like. I would recommend doing that first and then start considering where you can introduce automation in this. Where is the things that are taking up the time? What are the things that happen with every customer that you could automate? starting from that perspective is the best way to kind of go with this. I could spend all day talking about all the wonderful things that you could do with tickets and mapping out some of these processes and stuff with you. And this is absolutely something that we can help you with as well. If you kind of need a little bit of hand holding, you want someone to help kind of work out what that process would look like for your business, where that automation is going to fit in, even build some of that for you. That's absolutely something that we can help with there. Super.
Yeah, on that, a good place to go is we've got a case study section on our website, and there are 3 in-depth case studies of with use cases of Service Hub with some great visuals that you can have a look at, and definitely good videos from Emma herself. So we've got to 11 o'clock now, so thanks everyone for joining. We are going to we've had a couple of questions, so if anyone else has got any further questions, put them in the chat now, and we will run through them. Like I said at the start of the session, if anyone does want to have a chat with us or find out more about how we can help you with HubSpot, with marketing, or anything else, I'm just going to put that link in the chat again. We can book into our directly into our calendar. It's the quickest way of doing it, but there's others if you go to the website and have a look around as well. So let's dive into some of the questions.
Sure.
So from Miles, first of all, which HubSpot packages offer all these services? I'm assuming it's the most expensive. Generally, Miles, that's a good assumption.
So
not necessarily, right?
No, not necessarily. So to do the automation of the tickets, you're going to need the Service Hub Professional module. I don't know the pricing off the top of my head for that one, but it's one of the cheaper hubs within HubSpot. So you would need that additional kind of module if you don't have it already. Sometimes you can kind of bundle that in with the modules that you have existing as well. But yeah, it would be the Service Hub module that you need to do that.
It's just under £400 a month.
Okay.
For starting at HubSpot publish all their pricing, so there's a pricing page on their website you can go and find all of this about.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And then generally with anything to do where you want to automate anything, it starts at the professional level and above. But because there's a free version and a starter version, you can see and get used to the functionality first, see how it would work, visualize it before you then
commit to it. Yeah.
The more advanced tools.
100%.
So from Amanda, can you create various different ticketing boards to manage different channels? For example, one client onboarding managed by and visible to client success team, and then another for an investor joint mailbox managed by and visible to another team. Thanks for that question, Amanda. That's a good one.
Great question, Amanda. Yeah, you absolutely can. So again, for multiple pipelines, you're going to need the professional module of HubSpot, so the Service Hub Professional there. But yes, you absolutely can do that. So you can have it set up whereby certain teams have access to certain inboxes that link up to different pipelines. So it's completely separated in that way. That's so important for the use case that you've just described there. You're not going to want that all merging into one and your reporting all merging into one on that. So yeah, it absolutely is going to let you separate that out and have that completely in its own category there.
Okay, so thanks, Emma. Simon has asked if there's a way to sync up invoicing to HubSpot service so you can have a service with no remedial work and you then generate an invoice automatically.
Okay, another good question, Simon. As far as I know, at the moment, HubSpot can't generate invoices itself automatically. Some of that may be coming in Commerce Hub. Don't know the details yet of exactly what that looks like, but that may be something that kind of comes up there. It does also, HubSpot has integrations with Xero and a lot of accounting softwares and stuff there where it can pass things through to those kind of accounting softwares. So we'd have to have a look at kind of what you're using and stuff, Simon, see what would be possible there. HubSpot itself isn't going to generate an invoice, but there may be other tools within it that it can kind of integrate with and work with there.
Although, as Emma said, the new Commerce Hub, HubSpot is working on its own payments platform and its own invoicing platform that is coming down the track. And whether they're there with it or not, I don't know, but I know their goal is to be able to have that type of functionality.
Yeah. We've also got a question from James, who's actually one of my clients that I work with, about connecting it to a specific platform that they use. James, we can catch up on that personally, but it would depend how we connected it up with the platform. HubSpot has a really great API. It can connect up with a lot of different things. So there would be a way through kind of APIs of getting that to work with existing internal platforms as well. Without going too much into the detail of all of the API and the development kind of stuff there, the short answer is there would be a way to make it work. Fantastic.
Thanks, James. Right. Does anyone have any other questions? Because we're here and available if not. If you want to dive in and have a look at tickets, but you have questions, you've got Emma's email address from sending the invite out to this session.
I'll pop it in the chat as well now, just so that we've got it.
So I know Emma always is happy to dive onto questions regarding HubSpot.
Yes.
But otherwise, okay, unless we've got anything else, we'll call that a day and wrap up. Thank you again so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Look out for next month's session. If you've got anything that you'd like us to cover, because we're gonna pick another area of HubSpot and do a deep dive, but we're open to suggestions on those. Yeah, thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Fantastic. Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.